To continue our list, we have stopped here. Then the next one is publish equipment sizing requirement. Send email to sales engineer. Those are not usually used. The first one, you have to have another software for carrier, which is ECAT, related to some equipment sizing, to get the help of this software to size the equipment that are being generated by HAP. Then this is send email to sales engineer. You need to register an email, and if you want to contact a sales engineer from carrier, this is normal communication. This is not part of software technicalities. Then other important two. Import HAP project data and import GBXML. This import HAP project data, if you have other data from another project that you need to utilize, you will import it from that project. Will import, you need to import from which project, but better to import it on another project. We'll say cancel, and we will open our almost empty project, sample 1, which has only one space. Then we will make import from metro station, for example. Okay, this is the list, whatever you want to import from this list. Whether, for example, spaces, GSS room, entrance room, EMR, UPS, cleaner's room, for example. So those are 5 spaces. Systems, okay, we'll take this system. If you want to import wall, standard wall, roof, standard roof, whatever included in this project, then we'll say import. It gives you the summary. You will import one weather, 5 spaces, 1 system, 1 wall, 1 roof. Yes. Now we have 1 space. What it will be after the importing? Okay, it will be 6 spaces. This is the weather. We have imported all of these. Okay, then this is the space. Okay, if you noticed, we have imported only 5 spaces. Why it became 6 and we had 1? So now, why we imported 6 plus what we have 1, so it's 7. We have imported only 5 plus what we have 1, it should be 6. Why 7? If you looked here, those spaces, we have imported them all except this one. Why the system imported this one? Because this one related to the system. This system included such a space. Zone component here. So this is space concourse. That's why the system imported this additional space also. In the walls, you have the walls. In the roof, we have the roof. Then we didn't export any of these, so they are empty, and so on. This is how to import data from another project. Then the next item is import GBXML. This type of files is being generated by the Revit only. The Revit BIM modeling. You can export such extension, which helps you a lot introducing all the data and spaces into the HAP. Let's take an example. Import. Okay, where it's located. Okay, here, this one. Exercise facility. Okay, this one. Okay, it tells you that you will replace the existing one. We can say cancel. Then project, open a new one. Create, a new one. You will save the data we have added to the sample when we import it from the metro station some spaces. You will save these changes. We can say yes. And don't forget to archive after that. However, not now. Okay, this is when we created a new project. We'll say okay. Then project, import. Exercise facility. Do you want to preview a summary of this? It can be yes or no. We can say yes. Okay, this is the list of spaces you created, total building area and windows. As you can see, some problems appear because these data are not filled properly in Revit. That's why it comes with error here. Anyway, you will edit these data in the HAP. Okay, close this report. Now spaces, we have this set of spaces, and if you checked, for example, one space, you will find that the data, area, height, the building weight, the outdoor requirement, those data are already introduced in the Revit, and it's being extracted here when you import this type of files. Internal and the wall exposure, everything is being imported. okay, and so on. This is very useful function and very helpful. However, two personal advices based on the experience in this. The first one, you have to double check every single item you have imported. As we all know, nothing is perfect, and whatever the mistakes the architect has done in the file itself, it will appear here. For example, the architect might miss to seal the space or to keep the envelope open, which is very common, by the way. As we know, the project schedule now is very tight. That's why nothing comes perfect. Therefore, you need to recheck everything. From here, okay, you check the area and you can select all the spaces and you can preview. Here, for example, view the input data of all of these. Then you need to check whatever is realistic or not realistic. Okay, this area is realistic. This is the number of people. However, usually if you imported such file, it will be a brand new project. That's why it will not have such data for lighting or for people or for any of these. It will be architectural, purely architectural areas and the heights and names, which are very sufficient for us to proceed with our data. Very helpful, and it reduces the time a lot actually. But while you are navigating through these input data, you might find some unrealistic numbers, unrealistic heights or areas or whatever. That's why you have to check everything. But whatever the check require, it will be a less tougher job rather than you are introducing all these spaces with names and areas, with heights, with every these data and exposures. The advice number 2, you need to make some cleanup to the spaces after importing, because you will import whatever tagged in the architectural model, but not required to be air conditioned in your system, in your project. For example, you will find here many spaces like external guarding, roof, elevator void, garage, riser. Any tagged item in the architectural model, it will appear here. That's why you need to make some clean up and delete such spaces. Select whatever space you want to delete, then press delete or select this icon. It will be deleted. But again, as I told you, whatever the effort it will be required for such cleanup and check, it will be much less rather than you are introducing all the data from scratch for everything. This makes your job much easier. One last thing that we skipped in the beginning. When we created a new project, it gives you some options that we press just OK. However, you can choose other ones. Here we have some other standards. Usually select the most recent version. Take the version 2010. This is the same. This is for ventilation standard, energy standard, lead rating. This is lead for the new construction 2.2. Then this is 2009. This is equal to something like new construction 3, version 3. So we'll select also the most recent one. Here the currency type, select whatever currency of this, or you can edit any currency you want, real, or whatever text you will write, it will accept, no problem. You can edit any letters, it doesn't matter. However, back again to this, you can make them user defined or you can keep the recent one. Most probably you will utilize one more recent version of these standards, because this is, for example, 2010. However, there are some more recent versions of this ventilation standard, 2013, 16, 19. That's why you may make it user defined or keep any of these, or better to keep the most recent one that you have in this version. We'll see these related data inside the spaces when we'll come to the spaces. For now, you can choose the most recent one and press OK, and that's it. Another thing which is general, this one. Okay, this is the measurement units, English or SI metric. English, so the cooling capacity in ton refrigerant, air flow rate in CFM. Here that cooling capacity in kilowatt and the flow rate in liter per second. Areas in feet square, areas in meter square, and so on, whatever difference between the SI metric and the English. Then here is the toolbar and status bar, show tool tips. These ones show tool tips. When you stand or point on any of these icons, it will appear the function of such icon. If you uncheck this one, this will not appear. We can try it, for example. So this is show tool tips. We'll keep it. Okay. So here, if we stand on, this is open. This is save without clicking, of course. This is change. Then if we try to change these options again from view, preferences. Okay. Back again, general or project data. Okay, if we uncheck this one, then press OK, back again to these ones, nothing appears. Back again, view, preferences, show tooltips. Okay, then this is enable energy analysis features. Those are some equipment related to energy analysis. They will appear after shades here. Okay, chillers, cooling tower, boiler, electric rates, fuel rates. You will enter these currencies and rate to give you some energy modeling at the end. Back again, view, preferences, uncheck, and this is the date and time, either to show them or not. They will appear in the lower corner here. So this is okay. And that's it for this lesson. I hope this is clear now, and let's meet in the next lesson.